How's everyone? Welcome back to SoccerBeat. You're here with Michael Morton, current professional footballer, and Tsepo Masilela. We are taking a deep dive into the history of South African football, and we are talking about one of Kaizer Chiefs' most successful seasons. We're going to take it all the way back to the Stuart Baxter era, and I've got the right man to talk to me about it here. We've got Tsepo Masilela. Tsepo, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, Mikey, thanks for having me, brother.
Let's go, man. I think this is a topic that Chiefs fans would really love to go down memory lane again to relive this season. I think it was a great time in Kaizer Chiefs' history. Obviously, 3 years where Baxter was in charge and brought 4 trophies to Kaizer Chiefs. So a very successful time. Give me some of your key memories that you have from that period with Stuart Baxter.
Oh, Mikey, those were happy days for Kaizer Chiefs fans, and also me personally as a player. To come back from Europe and my first season, I win a league title. It was amazing, Mikey. But I think also it shows that it's a combination of both. If you have a good coach with good players, you're likely to achieve or to win silverwares.
Yeah, and when you look at that squad, I mean, who were the key players there, the big figures in the dressing room? You obviously had a very experienced squad at that stage, a lot of Bafana Bafana internationals. Who were the real key figures in that dressing room that drove success at the club?
Yeah, we had Itu who was the captain of the team, so he was also key. And the guys that were also there for long, like Shaba was at Chips for some years, and you had yeah, they understood the culture and they helped us, the new guys, like to understand better. And you also had the sporting director that's now retired, Kaiser Junior. He was also part of the team, Baxter's team. So those were the guys that were key, in the change room.
Yeah, and then I want to drill down mainly into that 2014-2015 season. That was obviously your third season that you guys were there. You started off that season with a MTN8 trophy. You beat Orlando Pirates in the final there. Um, how how hard was it once you'd won that MTN8 final against Orlando Pirates to then not rest on your laurels and not to be happy with that success and go? I mean, that team straight after that final, you went on to go 19 games unbeaten. I mean, that's a crazy record. I don't know if that was historically if that was a record as well. Yeah, when it was a fantastic run, and often when you win that MTN8, it becomes very challenging to go on and get future success after the MTN8. How did you guys manage to keep that going?
No, Mike, if you remember my first season at Chiefs, I think it was 2012, 2013. We won the league and the Nedbank Cup, so we won a double. So fast forward to the next season, we had a healthy lead actually. Sundowns was chasing us, so we had a healthy lead and we let it slip like towards the end of the season. I think last 5 games or last 4 games of the season. So the pain was the disappointment and the pain of how we lost the league. So we were leading from the very first game of the season up until Sundowns, took over and they went first. So the pain and the disappointment, it was driving us. And I remember very well the coach on the 2014-15 season, he would say, guys, things have changed now. We are hunting, we are the hunters. So we really need to up our game because things have changed. We were hunting Sundowns, sometimes we are being hunted, and now things have changed. We are no more being hunted, and so the pressure is not on us, it's on Sundowns. So we are hunting them. So I think the pain and the disappointment that was driving us that season.
Yeah, for sure. Because in that season, you had a nice, healthy lead, and then yeah, Pitso's men came from behind to pip you there. What was it about Stuart Baxter? I mean, I also worked under him, and for me, probably the best coach I'd worked with in my career. What is it that you think some of the things that made him a successful coach that brought so much success when he was coaching at Kaizer Chiefs? Some of his traits that you think made him a great coach.
With Coach Stuart Baxter, it was crystal clear. Like the way we train and the way we plan, that's how we're going to play. And he's his game module or his philosophy, it was easy for everyone. Like defenders, we knew how to defend when we were caught on transition, how to defend crosses, and attackers, we knew how we were going to get goals. And it was not a he's not a coach that likes to chop and change, ideas or his game plan or philosophy. So he stuck to what he thought is gonna work for us. And we I remember at some in games we'd go to the change room like frustrated. It's 0-0. You feel like the opponents, they know you by now. But you wouldn't panic, like would just tell us, guys, let's lift it up by 10%. Let's see if they can live with us, So with him, he's a simple coach. His game model, it requires discipline, and patience. Don't get frustrated. Keep doing what we know. Let's do us. Obviously with highlights, the strength of the opposition, but mainly focused on us. And when you keep doing the same thing, Mike, you end up like more like mastering, close to perfecting it. So we that,
100%.
that that's what Coach Stewart was all about. Very simple.
Yeah.
This is how we play. This is what we do. And believe me, we play games, and we come out of the game, maybe we won 1-0. But if we didn't play our normal game, what we trained, how we planned, we would be fuming. Would tell us, boys, listen, it's better you lose the game playing our way, like the way how we prepared. That was Coach Stewart.
Yeah, and that was actually one of my favorite things about him was the fact that he actually didn't worry too much about other teams. Like in terms of video analysis, like for the most part, you do like 10 minutes on the other team, and and then he'd always end the meeting by saying like, but at the end of the day, they must worry about us. We don't have to worry about them. Like they must worry about us. And I always remember that. And he was like, they can know what we're doing. Like we'll keep doing the same things.
Yes.
Like it might seem boring. It'll be like, we'll keep doing the same things. But if we do it well, nobody can stop us. And I
Ex-
love that. And because I feel like you get a lot of coaches um, who do basically counter tactics, like it's like a game of chess. Like if they move here, then we're gonna move there, and if they move here, we're gonna move there. And he was like, no, no, we play our way.
No.
They must deal with us.
Exactly. No, he was also his attention to details that also helped us a lot. As much as we would stick to our way of playing, but he would pick up details, from the opponents. That listen, today this is how we're gonna score. We're gonna get goals from this situation. When you get to this area, remember and focus. Because he's very huge on discipline. Same as set pieces. We would plan a set piece, a training would practice and do everything. Come game time, boom, we get a goal from the exact situation that we planned on, or whatever he highlighted to us that on set piece on or corner or free kicks, side free kicks. We deliver here. This is the position of the our target guys, and this is how we're gonna score. And it would come out, and there's nothing that's nice as a coach and also for us as players, seeing what we practice, come out in the game and being a success.
Yeah, what do you think it was? I mean, because you guys were unbelievably successful from set pieces. I think that was actually one of the main reasons that you dominated the league that year. There were a lot of 1-0 wins or 2-1 wins where they were decided by a set piece. Do you think it was the fact that you had guys that were very good in the air or very good on set pieces, or do you think it was the tactical organization from Baxter, a combination of the two?
No, it's definitely a combination, Mike. We had Shaba, who was the main guy who's taking the set pieces. His delivery was spot on. Shaba with delivery, and we had big boys. We had Marsha, we had Morgan, we had Tower, we had Katsande would chip in, time and again with goals. So it was a combination of the two.
Yeah, Masha was honestly, I played with him at Wits when he was first coming through, and he's one of the few guys that I know that used to spend like half an hour after training just headering the ball. Like
Headering the
I
ball.
swear, like you just get to kick the ball like in the air like a
Yes.
goalkeeper, and he'd run and
Yeah.
just attack and header the
Yes, he
ball.
would attack. He would attack.
It's like
That's
nobody enjoys doing that besides like maybe a handful of guys. But then when you see
yeah,
when it
but
actually pays off, like in the box and he's away, they know how to attack the ball. I don't know. There's a handful of people that actually enjoy practicing headering the ball, and he was one of them.
yeah, but but it shows. I think he knew his strength. He had the height. He could jump. He could jump very well. You'd swear maybe this guy had played basketball at some time of his life. At some point or sometime. So it shows that he knew his strength and he always wanted to work on his strength and improve and get better. And that's what makes you a good player eventually. If you put in the shift, like the hours, when everyone is not watching, that's where you put in the hours. So when come match day, or or in the game, you can able to execute everything that you've worked on. And with set
Yeah.
piece, we ran. I'm not sure if many teams they were running blocks, or if you defending Masha, we had a way of blocking Masha's defender on set piece, so we can free him up and he can get space to
Well,
attack the
give us
ball.
tips.
So
Give us those details. Give us those details. I think the fans would love to hear like the type of details. What when we talk about blocking, what do you actually? How do you go about doing that to create space for another defender?
no, but not the strongest guy, in attacking the ball or strong aerially. He would run the block for Masha. So meaning, if you are defending Masha, and we want to go first pole. So we had positions where we set the blocker. As Masha starts to move, he comes and stand in your way. So you can't track Masha all the way. So that's how we would free up Masha and
Yeah.
Tower.
I know very well because I used to do that for Clayton Daniels when Baxter was at SuperSport. And basically, what
you
you'd have to do is you'd like walk towards the corner taker, and then you'd turn around. And as you
you
turn
turn
around, and
around,
you
he
yeah,
runs
you see the
in.
number on your back, then all the guys would come running past you, and you've got to basically stop the guys that are marking them. And that was my job.
Oh, you're the blocker.
I was the blocker. So I know very well. But it used to work. So because what guys don't realize is that literally in the box, all you need is half a meter. So
Half a
if you
meter.
could somehow, if you can just get in the guy's marker's way for like a split second, you don't even have to touch him. But if he has to just move to go around you, you've given that guy half a meter to get a free header.
Exactly, and we would work hard on set pieces. Hence, we were successful with Masha and Tower and Morgan and Wito. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all monsters in the air as well. Tips, we'll chat more about. I actually want to chat to you more about Masha after the break, but let's head to a break for our sponsor Betway, and we'll be back with you in a couple minutes.
You see, it was this game that turned boys into giants. Even today's aces inherited the name from those who came before. Usabutha lo mlilo, buzalwa abaziyo, bazokutshela, lisegazini, forever.
Staying with us, guys. You're on SoccerBeat. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We have everything. We have TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us everywhere. Make sure you're following us, liking the video, sharing it with all your mates. We are growing the strongest football community in South Africa, so make sure you stay with us and let the beat do the talking. Tips, I want to speak to you about Masha because I played with him at Wits, and when I looked at him there, I would never have thought, as much as he was an incredible leader, a great guy, I wouldn't have ever thought that he would have gone to the level that he did go to at Kaizer Chiefs. He just took massive steps in his journey. And I mean, even when he was at Chiefs, you would never look at his sort of skill set and say he was necessarily the most gifted footballer. But what made him how did he win Player of the season that year? Like, how much of it was his mentality is like next level?
Yeah, I can, to a point I do agree. He was not really the most, he was not the OJs of this world, very comfortable
Not a
on the
ball
ball.
player.
He could play. No, 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 definitely not a ball player. But he understood his strengths, Masha. He wouldn't complicate things or try fit in or try be the defensiest defender. He understood his strengths and worked hard to improve on his strengths and also worked on his weaknesses. And yeah, man. Also, I think he's strong mentally, Masha. He's a quiet guy. He's a quiet leader. He's not a leader that makes a lot of noise or shout at guys. He was the quiet leader. But very very smart also. He's very smart and a good human being also.
Yeah.
and we formed a great understanding, like partner, because he was playing more on the left, like left center back, and I was a left back. So he's someone that you could talk to, advise. He was very open to listening to other people's opinions. So but as I say, he was a quiet leader, but he did well. The
Yeah,
season where when he won the player of the season, he chipped in with very important goals. You remember also the MTN 8 final. He's the one that scored the winner. We won 1-0. It was a set piece. He
yeah,
won us that game with the header. He came big in important moments.
yeah. And that, I mean, that whole season you guys played with the five at the back. That was obviously, I mean, it made it almost impossible to break you guys down. You had the three giants, and then it was obviously you and Pa as the wide men, and Willard obviously in front of the back three. Like, that's, when you look at that, it's a very tough team to break down. And then you have one of the best keepers that South Africa's ever seen. Um, yeah, did you guys ever feel like you were going to concede goals when you set up? Because obviously, I also know the way that Baxter drills his defensive work, and he hates changing his back five as well, or back four. So, like, when you know that defense is so well drilled, and they have like really, really good professionals and really good players, like, did you ever walk onto the field thinking like, we're not going to get a clean sheet here today?
What helped us is it was our third season with the coach and playing almost the same back four or five to an extent. So the understanding was great on our in our third season. Everything takes time. To work on something, especially in defense, it takes time. So what helped us is it was that we had played together for such a long time, so that was also a plus. Even though Itu wouldn't be there sometimes, maybe through injuries. Brilliant Kuzwayo, he was the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
choice. Yes, he would come in and do well. If I'm not there, we had Keegan Ritchie, so at right back with Khotso Muleko. So because of the work we put, in training, and Coach Stuart was very strict with defending, because we'd
yeah,
always say that strong defense win you championship. So we would work very hard with his defenders. We had sessions where we would just take the back 4, 5, and then the two midfielders, and they were drilled, to work on our
yeah.
defending. So by the time we went to our third season together, we became stronger and stronger together.
Yeah, I mean, he did so many of that. I think I can remember like two specific defensive drills that he always used to do. The one where you used to like chip it into his hands, and then he'd like throw the ball up, and you'd have to like push up all together.
Yes, and to
And
react and
yeah,
shift,
yeah,
or whether it's shifting or stepping up, and so.
yeah. So you always used to like react to, as soon as the ball was in the air, like that was your moment to step up. So like
To
whenever the
step
ball
up.
wasn't at somebody's feet, then like you used to squeeze that line, and he used to be on the centre backs cases all the time, like get your line up all the time. And it's crazy, like, because even when I went on to play with Clayton and all the guys that I played with at SuperSport again, like, they were still using the Stuart Baxter phrases that we learned, like, under Baxter. Like, it's crazy, like, almost the whole team's language starts to change. Like, everything you're saying, like, drop in center.
Drop in center, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. Like, so these are things like, even when he coached me, he coached you, like, everyone who's ever played for him knew that these, like, certain things, when he said drop in center, what it meant. And basically, for the guys that don't no, but basically what used to happen is, like, if a team used to counter attack you or used to break against you really quickly, he used to say, instead of diving in, he was like, never, never dive in. He's like, drop in center, because what will happen is, like, you drop your back line as far back as possible to get as close to your
but
goalkeeper. So
but
then you can
Mikey,
then,
cause it worked very well. Because if you think of it, if the opposition, they on transition or counter, if you try go at them, now you're exposing big spaces behind you, and you're not really that organized, or you're outnumbered a bit. So the only way to frustrate them, you drop in center. When you drop in center, you're denying them the space. So once you're denying them the space, there's a chance that they might make a wrong decision, and then you've delayed them. So now the recovery runs, everyone gets into possession. So it worked wonders for us.
yeah, no, there's all these things, like, it all just, like, the memories come flooding back. Because then I think he was like, there was another thing he always used to say was, no big movements. Do you remember that one?
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
so it's like,
there was.
again, how many times when you're watching, like, in Europe where like a striker is going to shoot and then a defender like makes a big movement and the
Big
striker puts it through
movement.
his legs.
His
Yeah,
leg,
and we
exactly.
always,
You
yeah,
know.
he always used to say like no big movements. He's like, trust your goalkeeper. Do not make like these big
Yes.
movements to open the goal. So he was like, you block one side, give the goalkeeper the other side, and
But
trust
the
your
other
keeper.
side, yes, yes. So,
Yeah. So it's like like these are all things that like you play football for like 10, 15 years from the time you were like 10 years old, but you don't feel, I didn't feel like anyone ever really taught me how to defend properly until I got to Baxter. Like it's crazy, and I feel like everyone who's ever gone through his hands or has played like once or twice for him, like you just go to like another level. I feel like I learned
yes,
a lot.
I always say that good coaches they are able to improve players like individually. If you look at the Lebise, the Mandla Masamo in that season, the last season of Baxter, he had an amazing season. Like it was a different Mandla Masamo altogether. And look at Wito, he went on to become a legend of Kaizer Chiefs. And in the beginning, when he first joined Chiefs, he was not even playing. But good
Yeah.
coaches they able to improve players.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to go head off to one more ad break and then we'll come back and wrap up this episode. This been a good trip down memory lane regarding Stuart Baxter. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and we'll be back in a couple.
Betway is giving customers a chance to win big with their 4 to score free weekly prediction. Simply predict the first teams to score in 4 Betway Premiership matches, and you could win 50,000 Rand. Scan the QR code on screen now to enter. Get way more with Betway. Standard T's and C's apply.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We're back. We're going to wrap it up by talking about one guy, Tips, and this is somebody who maybe was not Kaizer Chiefs fans' favorite player, but I feel like he was extremely effective in the Stuart Baxter era. Was Kingston Nkhatha. This guy also obviously moved with Stuart to SuperSport as well. He wasn't all that popular with Stuart, and this actually spoke a lot to Stuart Baxter's character because there were times where honestly, like I think I was cringing sometimes when he was playing and the kind of feedback that they were getting from the fans and the booing and the changing and all that stuff. And like Stuart was like very strong with the fact that he was like, Kingston makes a massive part of the way he plays. And he was like, no matter what happens, no matter how he plays, he adds value to my team, and he stuck with him. And that was like type of character that he was. Like you were in that dressing room. How hard was it for Kingston at times to deal with that, with the supporters and the kind of negative feedback he was getting?
No, it's not a nice feeling. I remember there's a game where you could feel, you could see it in his eyes and in his body language that he's ready like to just walk out the field. But the nice thing is he knew also that the coach, he's got the coach's support, and the coach, he believes in him. Kingston is was those type of striker. There's players that fit the system. Such players, you fit the system. You don't have to score 20 goals per season, Kingston, but he fitted very well in that Stuart Baxter system in Coach Stuart's team. Without the ball, he could press, he could keep the defenders on their toes. When there was movements, like in attacking patterns, he understood Parker. They developed a good understanding between him and Parker. So we knew that he fitted the system, and it shows that if you have a coach that believes in you, and the coach will fight for you. So that's what Coach Stewart did. He fought for Kingston. There was a game where like he had to turn around, and face the crowd and tell them to, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. That's how
Yeah.
much the coach fought for Kingston. But
But it
Kingston
wasn't
fitted
just
the
the coach. I mean,
system.
I remember you guys as well. There was like goals that he scored where you guys all would go around Kingston and sort of like show the fans
Yes,
like
yes.
sort of yeah, like you. I mean, it showed that there was like the amazing team spirit you guys had there. That you also like sort of rallied behind him as well.
Yeah, there was the unity was there, the camaraderie, and he was one of us. Also, if you start booing Kingston, we also got affected, like as his teammates, because we don't want to lose him. We don't want to
Yeah.
now. If we lose him in the game, we one man down. Like if his head is not in a good space,
Yeah.
So
So
we
I
would
always used to
always.
remember what Baxter used to show us clips of Diego Costa as a striker, and he used to say to him like, always make that front post run. because like you won't necessarily get the ball, but you will drop their line and you'll take everyone with you. So he always used to show these clips of Diego Costa, and that's basically what Kingston used to do for Chiefs, and he used to do it for SuperSport. Is like he would take all the runners with him, all the defenders with him, and he would open space for everyone behind him, and then the cutbacks were on and all that sort of stuff. But he was always like, make that near post run, and Kingston was the type of guy, the big frame, quick, and he would always make that run. And I think that's what Baxter loved about him. It's like he would sacrifice himself with that run.
Yes, he was selfless, and he was coachable, and he's a team player again. You need such guys, team player, and yeah, man, he did a lot for our team, So
yeah,
and
that Baxter used to say, he used to say
sure
that
guys like
you
Parker,
make one run for them, and then one run for us. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as a runner, like I used to do that a lot for him. Like I played as a number 8, and then you'd say run through the gate. So I'd with Tuso playing as the right wing, then I'd run through and try to drop the line,
gate,
and then Tuso would cut in. Exactly. So he always used to say like
exactly.
one run for them, one run for us.
For us.
Yeah, there was a lot of. That was a great coach, man. Tips in closing. Obviously, fantastic memories you had at Chiefs. Tell me what it was like. Obviously, you won 2 league titles there. What was it like to win a trophy in front of the Amakosi supporters? I think they'd love to know what you feel like lifting a trophy.
Those things, they more like a dream come true, Mike. Growing up, you watch the big teams on TV, and you aspire to play for one of the big teams. And now you're there, and you win a league title. Not everyone gets to win a league title at Kaizer Chiefs. You can win, okay, MTN 8, maybe some other trophy, but winning a league twice at Kaizer Chiefs is definitely one of the highlights of my career.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's a great place to leave it. Tips, thank you so much for the time and for the trip down memory lane. Yeah, mate, and we'll... Chief supporters, please let us know in the comments what memories you have of that time under Baxter. We'd love to hear from you because Tips has shared some great memories with us as well. So I'd love to hear all you Chief supporters tell us what it was like back then supporting Kaizer Chiefs and going on that ride. But yeah, thank you for joining us again on SoccerBeat. Tips, sign us out.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Kamina gawena.